Let's get to the tail of the tape. It's brought to you by Modelo, brewed for those with a fighting spirit. I gotta get through this, my man. Neil Magny, 32. Anthony Rocco Martin is 30. Magny's taller by 3 inches. We always talk about that Magny reach. He's got a whole lot of it tonight on Anthony Rocco Martin. Here now, Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is 3 rounds in the UFC welterweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu fighter holding a professional record, 17 wins, 5 losses. He stands 6 feet tall, weighing in at 170.5 pounds. Fighting out of St. Cloud, Minnesota, Anthony Rocco Martin. And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record, 22 wins, 8 losses. He stands 6 feet 3 inches tall, weighing in at 171 pounds. Fighting out of Denver, Colorado, the Haitian sensation, Neil Magny. And when the action begins, our referee in charge, Mark Smith.
Final assignment of the night for Mark Smith. The beautiful Luciana Andrade with us tonight in Las Vegas, Nevada. Anthony Rocco Martin, a slight plus 115 underdog tonight per Caesars Palace here in Vegas, taking on the minus 135 favorite.
Fight's on.
Out Neil Magny. This fight clock is brought to you by Modelo, brewed for those with a fighting spirit. Martin is wearing the black trunks. Neil Magny out of the southpaw stances in gray.
I'm really curious to see what Martin's strategy is. If he's going to try to stand with Neil, if he wants to try to bring this to the ground. And for Neil, you know what his strategy is, his volume, utilizing that length and distance and the vast amount of experience that he has.
He does a good, Neil always tries to get your timing. Once he gets your timing, he starts to really try to go to work. Like right now, Rocco Martin's got him on his back foot, got him on his heel, trying to corner him.
How much of an adjustment, DC, do you think it is with this smaller cage for a lot of these guys?
Well, I mean, when you're a guy that likes to fight at range and try to fight at space, it's very difficult because people talk about 25 feet and 30 feet. It's not 25 feet or 5 feet total. It's like 2.5 feet on each side is the difference, is what one of the guys that helped set up the octagon told me the other day. So you're talking about moving that almost to the outside of the black part of the octagon is the difference in the sizes. It's massive.
Russell Crowe stars in the new movie Unhinged, only in theaters July 1st. Are you feeling unhinged lately? You're not alone.
Martin's got the back of Neil Magny here. Let's see if he can do anything with it. Neil Magny, difficult to get to the ground.
Martin was trying to take a page out of the Santiago Ponzinibbio playbook after he finished Neil Magny. Just a clean performance, didn't allow Magny to dictate pace or really get off at all.
Well, Martin is a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and we've seen Neil Magny submitted by Rafael dos Anjos and by Damian Maia.
Yep.
Two really elite top of the food chain black belts there.
Mm-hmm. But was able to survive with Hector Lombard on the ground.
Yes.
And you know Hector and those leg locks, man. So Neil has a look at that, Joe. Look at the difference, right? That little back trip. That's when you see a high-level guy. He's trying to pull Neil back into his lap, but Neil being forward up against the side of the octagon allows for him to stay up. That works mostly in space.
Prioritize your elbow position.
Martin working very hard to try to get this tank down.
You see how Neil's trying to break the lock? If he's smart, he would put 2 hands to one and start isolating that wrist on the way out. He's trying to keep 1 hand on the wrist as he breaks it. He needs to get 2 on it. Now he needs to move Anthony's head back inside like that, and now he's facing it.
Been a huge year for Elevation Fight Team. Gaethje, Dober, Overeem. Neil Magny trying to continue that success tonight, but getting controlled in the clinch here by Martin early.
I like that sharp palm strike in tight like that where you can't land a punch.
Martin's doing a really good job of keeping all his weight forward into Neil Magny, pressing him up against the side of the octagon, and just really controlling him.
Decided to let him out.
Under 2 minutes to go, round 1. Magny switching up the footwork early, got caught by that right.
Good low kick there by Magny, and again, go to the calf.
Final fight on the contract for Rocco Martin as he absorbs that Magny jab. Martin looks stronger, to your point, DC.
Yeah, he does. He looks strong. He's really controlling Neil Magny along the side of the octagon.
A lot of these athletes laud the efforts of Clint Wattenberg, Heather Linden, everybody at the UFC PI.
Well, this game is so much about maximizing what you have. And if you can come in with more muscle, more power, more endurance, and still make that weight cut and do it healthy because of science, I mean, the results are absolutely evident.
There was a time when the PI was first built, they were asking people to come out. They were offering it up. Now they don't have to offer it up anymore.
Right.
Everybody understands how valuable it is.
Neil's having some real good results with that low calf kick on the right leg, excuse me, the left leg of Martin.
And again, another one of those guys from elevation. You know, we spoke about the kid from last weekend, Chris Gutierrez, landing those leg kicks to win the fight.
And Gaethje just chops everybody to pieces with those.
But Gaethje kicks so hard, he doesn't even have to do low leg kicks. He just beats your thigh up the whole time until you can't stand anymore.
Well, he told me when he did my podcast, he doesn't even throw those anmore. He says he's only going to throw them to the calves now.
Oh, really?
He goes, you need 4 of them. He goes, you need, and that's his plan for Khabib. So let your boy know.
I'm not saying anything. Okay. Maybe I'll say something.
Tonight's Corner Cam is brought to you by Body Armor Sports Drink. Superior hydration with no artificial flavors or dyes. Body Armor, the official sports drink of UFC. Grab one today at 7-Eleven.
You have to rush anything, all right?
For sure. Deep breath.
It's the only time you get in touch with anything when you're rushing a little bit.
Deep breath.
You keep that space and everything's landing good.
Maybe a little bit more
And you can tell he's already tiring, right?
For sure.
Keep that pace on him.
Yes, sir. I need your offensive weapons.
Closer, Rocco.
Listen, Tyson. Look. Yep. Okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yep. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
When he's southpaw, when he's southpaw, we're looking for that cross.
Well, next week, the flyweights headline a UFC Fight Night on ESPN and ESPN Plus as the #1 contender, Jessica I, welcomes Cynthia Calvillo to a new weight class. You can catch all the action right here from the UFC Apex. Main card starts at 9 p.m. Eastern next Saturday night.
All right, guys, round 2, fight.
All right, here we go, round 2. Neil Magny, Anthony Rocco Martin.
Watch fingers.
Any major takeaways from the corners, men? I'll take that as a no. The Magny corner does believe Martin is starting to fade.
Yeah, I was going to say that. It's interesting that they think he's starting to fade because I didn't really see that. I mean, I saw him push a very aggressive pace, but he looks fresh here.
I don't even think Neil's fighting as high a pace as he normally does.
Yeah.
He's a little more measured in his approach right now. And I think that's because Martin was able to land something very early in the fight.
I think their advice is based on the fact that everybody, he tagged him. He hurt him there with that right hand. Neil was in a bit of trouble there, and he's on his bicycle now. I was going to say that I think their advice was based on the fact that everybody gets tired fighting Neil.
Yeah.
And they just assume this is what's happening.
Martin's checking those kicks, man.
He is.
And for as painful as they are when they land, it hurts equally as bad whenever they're blocked.
Pretty good entry and level change from Rocco, and he gets Magny down.
Beautiful takedown. Right into side control. Neil Magny very good at retaining guard, though. Got half guard already.
Deep half guard. Now he's going to try to build up onto his right elbow.
He's got the underhook on the correct side as well. But he's got to look out for his neck.
Darce, he's got to watch the Darce.
And also Japanese necktie from this position. He doesn't even have to cinch up the Darce. If he can control one of the legs with his leg like it's wrapped up there, see how the legs are wrapped up there? This is a prime position for the Japanese necktie.
Nemiroff, bold character since 1872. I remember Rocco submitting the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt Fabricio Camois back in the day.
That was huge.
I want you there. You the ball. Yeah.
Back to the center of the octagon. About 2 minutes have gone by here, round 2.
Neil just picks you apart, just keeps, I mean, there's no wind-up, there's no big shots, you know, there's no real big explosion. Everything's done with technique, but he just never stops firing shots.
He doesn't throw anything hard, though. I would
Right.
like to see at a time whenever he starts throwing jab, 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 sit down on one of those right hands and see if he can hurt Anthony Rocco Martin.
Yeah, you never see that from him.
No.
It's interesting.
Even on those leg kicks, right? Like you see most guys just blast those kicks. He's kind of just touching it.
Martin proving strong in the clinch all night.
And he's a strong guy. It's not
Yeah.
like he doesn't have power, but he just is very economical with his energy.
And that's what allows him to go so long,
Yeah.
right? He doesn't seem to fatigue because of that.
And that's worked out so well for him. He just stuck with this strategy. Martin has a Kimura trap here. Let's see if Neil can get out of this. Nice break.
Martin used that to get out of the position.
Yeah.
That was a great counter to Neil Magny trying to get a takedown there.
As we were saying, Rocco's been doing a lot of training with Douglas Lima, and I guarantee that's one of the reasons why he's checking leg kicks so well.
Yeah, you better. You better check leg kicks if Douglas Lima's throwing them at you.
Magny landed a right hand a moment ago. That might have been his best connection of the night. Coming up on a minute here to go in round 2.
And now Magny's got Martin on his bike, and that's very important for the way that Neil fights. Just continues to pressure guys. Martin, it would be easier for Martin to control this position if he uses his head to break the posture of Magny. Also, slide his right knee up inside. Use it to pin Magny's back against the side of the fence instead of being so square in front of him.
Yeah, he's not using good head control here at all.
That's the easiest way to pin somebody along the side of the octagon, is get your head right up under the chin. That allows you to switch levels to attempt takedowns, too.
Both fighters exchange low kicks towards the end of the round. All right, 10 minutes in the can. Tonight's Corner Cam brought to you by Body Armor Sports Drink. Superior hydration with no artificial flavors or dyes. Body Armor, the official sports drink of UFC. Grab one today at 7-Eleven.
Step on his feet a little bit, stomp his feet, get him thinking, and pull him off and start reaping. Yeah. He's squaring up a little bit. And take a breath.
Guys, just space out a little bit, okay? Thank you, thank you.
Here's the big overhand right that really stung Neil Magny. You see Neil immediately covering up. And here's a big takedown by Martin. And here Magny comes back with a very nice right hand, perfectly placed.
But that's one of those times, right? If he just sits down on that, he might be able to get some real damage off on the guy.
All right, round 3 brought to you by P3, the official protein snack of UFC. You saw the longtime chief corner of Anthony Rocco Martin, Brock Larson, pretty encouraged by the first 2 rounds. Magny urgent here to begin round 3.
Just really putting that pressure on Martin here. Because you sensed at the end of the second that Rocco was having some big, deep breaths and just reacting to the pace. You know, when Rocco's trying to hit Neil, he's trying to really explode and put a lot of energy into it. Whereas Neil is so economical, and that's always been one of his big strengths.
Yeah, for sure. But even that outside kick there, right? Little light kick by Neil, but when Anthony throws that same kick, he throws it so much harder.
But that's also why he's a little tired.
But, I mean, he may be up 2-0.
Yes.
And if you're going to be that guy that fights at such a high pace but not really put any real damaging thoughts into your shots, how do you finish a fight in the third round if you're down?
Right. Well, pressure.
Unless he just overwhelms him to the point that Anthony just falls down. But it doesn't look like he's going to do that.
He is putting some real pressure. Man, Rocco's got his mouth open right now.
Yeah.
He's taking some big, deep breaths, and we got a lot of time to go in this round.
Oh, nice.
But again, touched him with that right hand, right?
He needs to start throwing those with some intent.
Magny still hasn't been able to take Martin down thus far.
Interesting that he's trying, though. Interesting that this is a part of his strategy. And I think it could be just that he wants Rocco to wrestle. Force him to wrestle, really wear him out.
And try to fatigue him. Yeah, Magny's whole game is really about pushing you to a place that you're not used to or uncomfortable being in.
Yeah.
And then he takes over.
Yeah, he's a vampire. He just sucks your blood.
Pretty good elbow out of the break. Now a jab from Magny as we come up on 3 minutes here to go in the fight.
This fight is really going in Neil's favor now. Yeah. It's swinging in his direction.
That was a nice right hand. Every fight for Neil Magny should be a 5-round fight.
Just like Magny has done in the past, maybe not the strongest starter, but coming on strong late.
Very strong right now. He's coming on real strong.
Knees. Yeah, I mean, Rocco is drowning.
Oh, he's exhausted. Yep.
He's drowning.
He's very tired.
Big breaths.
And Neil will not slow down.
Goodness. Neil's ramping it up. His endurance, his style is so impressive.
And this is vintage.
His output.
This is vintage Neil Magny. He doesn't even look like he's breathing heavy.
Yep, nothing. And he can just keep going. I mean, it's all how much defense does Rocco have? How much can he absorb?
This is very good for Rocco here, though. Trying to get close, slow Neil Magny down, not allow him to have his back to the center of the octagon, just pressuring forward.
But it's also a lot of energy. Look how he's separated with a big, deep breath, whereas Neil's fine. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Neil's just putting it on.
Nice right hand by Magny. That was a big shot there.
Fence comes up on you quickly in the 25-footer.
Magny is really separating himself in this round.
The question is it too little, too late?
But I think the first 2 rounds were close, Joe. I'm not saying, I can't say for sure that Martin won those 2 rounds, but if you're Magny and they're that close, you would feel like you need a big 3rd round, and that's exactly what he's having right now. Or Martin. I mean, this is a very close fight. Hard to judge.
I'll tell you what's not hard to judge this 3rd round.
No, this is all Neil Magny. And he's just, and now Rocco Martin isn't really throwing much. He's just evading. Yep, trying to survive. He thinks that he's done enough to win the fight.
I don't think he can. DC, I don't think he can even throw a shot right now.
He's tired.
He's so tired.
But he's doing a good job of pressing, holding position.
Magny with the striking advantage statistically in all 3 rounds. Under 30 to go now.
Wow, I didn't think those strikes would look like that.
I'm with you, champ. Ooh.
Amazing.
Oh!
Big shot there by Martin. Oh,
now Magny.
Wow, Neil Magny.
Good measure, yeah.
What a 3rd round by Neil Magny.
Beautiful head movement as well. Is that it?
Was that? I was like, what was that?
Oh, that was a false bell.
Nice showcase for the welterweight division as Anthony Rocco Martin and Neil Magny go the distance tonight. Grueling clinch fighting for much of those 15 minutes.
And look at Neil Magny, barely out of breath.
Yeah, he's a 5-round fighter. Let's look back at some of the action. This fight replay is brought to you by Nemiroff, bold character since 1872.
That's exactly what I was going to say, John, but this fight was all back and forth. Magny landed a lot of these low leg kicks, but so did Anthony Rocco Martin. I mean, he landed a lot of shots, but right here you see this was the part of the fight where Neil Magny was starting to take over. This is the 3rd round. Nice jab, counter right hand, knees to the body from against the side of the octagon. I thought this was a very close fight, but looking back at those numbers, it looked like Neil Magny might have won all 3 rounds if you go by strikes. I thought those first 2 rounds were very, very close.
Well, Rocco definitely hit him with some big shots. And the real question is, how much does that count versus how much does a 3rd round that's that dominant by Neil Magny? Rocco wasn't on the verge of being taken out, but you could make an argument that that's a bigger difference than just a 10-9.
And if you read the new language, Joe, that very much would qualify as a 10-8. All right, let's see how the 3 judges saw it. Here's Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for a decision. The judges score the contest 30-27, 30-27, and 29-28 for the winner by unanimous decision, the Haitian Sensation.